Hello, gentlemen. rhinoCRUNCH here today. I'm going to be talking about Arma 3 versus DayZ Standalone. This is for the people who have not bought it yet, who are maybe on the border of which one to get, or if either at all. Now let's talk about Arma 3 versus DayZ. Now, I want to preface this whole discussion on a couple points. The first point is I own both. Okay, I came from Arma 2. I actually started off my gaming experience on console, switched over to PC, played shooters, Counter-Strike, all that, and slowly, I think, progressed, because I think games like Arma and DayZ are progressive for gaming experiences. And I'll get to that in a minute. But for now, let's just preface this whole thing. I own both. This whole discussion is for people who are maybe on the fence. Maybe I want Arma 3, maybe I want DayZ Standalone, maybe I want both. What should I buy? I don't really know anything about either. I'm a noob, which is fine. It's okay. I welcome noobs to the community. And so let's talk about, we're going to start off with Arma 3. Now, I bought Arma 3 in the beta state, which was $34.99. That was its price point. In the beta state, there was a tremendous amount of bugs. There was, a tremendous amount of glitches. I mean, all sorts of problems. The optimization wasn't there. There was a lot of problems. So I got to see it progress. And there's videos on the channel of Arma 3 Alpha that you can check out. Wasteland Episode 1, for example, is Arma 3 Alpha. And you can see how far along the game has come in the last year, okay? So let's talk about the pros. The pros of Arma 3, okay? Now, Arma 3 is a military simulator. That means it's designed to make you feel like you're in a simulation. You know, you don't get points for headshots. You're not getting kill streaks. It's not a fast-paced action environment. It's more designed for the simulation. So we're going for authentic sounds. We're going for authentic, vehicle interiors. Just all sorts of detail put into the simulation to make it feel like it's a simulation, not feel like, a game, basically. So a lot of people complain about the controls. That's one con to Arma 3's. There is a huge learning curve for the controls. If you're coming from Counter-Strike, if you're coming from Call of Duty, you're going to have a big problem learning the controls right away, because there's micro stances. There's, you can move you can put your gun in your left hand and crouch all the way to the left. You can lay on the ground and peek around rocks. I mean, it's an extremely versatile shooter, basically. There's just so much to it. And there's multiple weapons, there's multiple vehicles, air, land, sea, all of it. Even submarine aquatic vehicles. So there is a huge learning curve. That's a big con, I think. Because a lot of people come into Arma 3 and they say, what the fuck am I doing? These controls are terrible. And there's not really a way to design, in my opinion, I don't think there's a way to design controls to be a good way to design controls. There's only so many keys on a keyboard, and I think that it would be really hard to develop a good fluid control for Arma 3. It's just, there's so much versatility to it. It's a challenge, I think. So that's one of the cons. One of the pros to Arma 3 is there is a fuck ton of mods. I mean, there is a plethora of mods. You have DayZ-like mods. In fact, there's some mods that came from Arma 2 DayZ. So there's Breaking Point. Breaking Point's a huge DayZ mod. It's a huge DayZ mod in Arma 2, and it's in Arma 3. That alone is like a standalone mod. You could play that for hours on end. There's King of the Hill, which is essentially like a domination map. If you ever play Battlefield 3, it's like a domination or a conquest map where you capture a specific point, you hold it down. There's Wasteland. There's just Altis Life, which is like a role-playing game, which is basically like a Grand Theft Auto style experience, except instead of NPCs, there's, the cops are players. So there's this whole domination subordination thing. The amount of mods for Arma 3 alone is a huge selling point, okay? Because there's just so many mods. There's single-player campaigns, there's multiplayer campaigns, there's co-op campaigns. The list goes on and on. It's just the amount of game. There's probably 15 to 20 different game types that are a blast to play that are in Arma 3. It's optimized. This could be a pro and a con. It's optimized as much as it can be in its current state, okay? If you look at how it ran as far as performance-wise, what type of computer is needed, you can see the stats. I'll put links to that system requirements in the description. But it is optimized as much as it can be. But that's also a con because it's still super, super, super buggy. There's a lot of bugs to it. I mean, you can break your legs in stairs. There's just there's a huge amount of bugs and glitches. The performance isn't the greatest. You do need a really good box to run this thing smoothly, to run it in good quality settings, to have nice graphics, to have a fluid amount of frames per second. You do need a beast box, so that can be seen as a con as well. The other huge price or the other huge pro I would have to say is the price. It's on sale right now on Steam for the weekend, so check that out. I'll put links in the description for that. So now the question is, let's say I'm coming from a console, I've never played a milsim. Would I buy Arma 3 for its price point in its current state? Yes, I absolutely would buy Arma 3 for its price point, because the mods alone, and the mods are made by, the community. Players make these mods. So, it's a very democratic thing. If they make a great mod, it becomes really popular really fast. So that alone, I think, is definitely worth you get the most bang for your buck. The way I see it is a good friend of mine gave me this idea of how much do you spend for a movie? You spend $10 for a movie, you're there 2 hours, it's $5 an hour you're paying for entertainment. The amount of hours that you're going to get out of Arma 3, you're going to get fractions on the dollar. You're going to be paying, maybe 5, 10 cents for every hour of enjoyment you're getting at its current price point. So definitely check Arma 3 out. Now let's talk about DayZ Standalone. DayZ Standalone's current state, October 2014. Now, a huge con for DayZ is it does have a huge learning curve. If you did not play Arma 2 DayZ, you did not play Arma 2, you did not play Arma 3, the controls on the game are it's not fluid at all. It's very slow paced. There's really not a lot of fluidity in the game, which I can see as a con. It is extremely buggy, okay? It is absolutely buggy. There are so many bugs, there's bugs that have been out since it was released last year. They are fixing them, but as they fix them, they create more. So that's another thing. So, dying randomly. If you're into that, that's cool. That can be seen as a con. Now, a pro to DayZ Standalone, if you've never played Arma 2 DayZ, if you've never played if you've never played any type of DayZ style game where you're survival against other players in the environment in this type of simulation, that's a huge pro, because it is unlike any experience you will experience in a video game. Video games are designed to be fun, adrenaline pumping, enjoyment, rewarding experiences. And DayZ is not that, okay? It is, it's a masochistic, it's a very, very masochistic game. If you enjoy punishing yourself, if you enjoy punishing other players, if you enjoy, now the moments of, tons and tons of moments of boredom, okay? You'll be running around forever and you will not see another player. You may see zombies, you will not see another player. However, those moments of long boredom are followed by intense fear when you do meet another player. And those experiences, I think this is a huge pro for DayZ, is the experiences that you will have when you talk to other players, when you meet other players, when you shoot at other players, when other players shoot at you, you will never forget. There's very few moments in video games that they stick onto you for a really long time. I can think personally from my own experience, Metal Gear Solid. I remember the sniper scene when you're shooting, the first time you start sniping in Metal Gear Solid, when you fight Psycho Mantis. These are moments that I'm never going to... These experiences, there's a feeling associated with these experiences that'll never go away. DayZ Standalone has that. And you'll get a lot of them. Because of its sandbox nature, there are tons of just randomly generated player events. Whether it's being shot at, whether it's being captured, whether it's capturing other players, whether it's helping other players, where it's teaming up with making new friends. These are all experiences that you're going to have in DayZ. Now, the negative side to that is it is a lot of messing around. It's a lot of fucking around. You got to run around a lot. There's no vehicles, okay? There's not even a bicycle. The game's been out for a year and there's no motor. I mean, they don't even have a skateboard in that motherfucker. Okay. So you got to be running around everywhere, which can become really draining. It can, it gets to the point where it's just not fun anymore to run in a video game. Would I buy this game for its price point and current state? The answer is yes, I would. I would buy DayZ Standalone in its current state. The only reason I say yes is because those moments are priceless moments. You cannot put a price tag in a moment in a video game when you kidnap someone and you handcuff them and you steal their blood to give your friend a blood bag, and then you give the player some food to be on his way. It's just, these are really epic moments. Or when one of your friends gets killed and you go and you find the guy that shot him and you hold him up, you humiliate him, you take his clothes off, you tie him up, and then you execute him. These are moments that are priceless to me, and it's absolutely worth it in its current state. However, for the purposes of this discussion, does it stand up to Arma 3? Absolutely not. If you're on the fence of buying Arma 3 versus DayZ Standalone, I highly recommend, especially because Arma 3 is on sale, do not buy DayZ Standalone. Still in alpha. When you load into the game, it says we are still in alpha. There's a lot of bugs, etc., etc. So in its current state, Arma 3, you get way more bang for your buck. There's tons of mods for you. If you do not like Arma 3 role-playing, then you can play a shooter-style game like King of the Hill, where you do infantry movement, ground movement, urban warfare, sniping, or you can fly a plane in the same King of the Hill. There's just so many mods. Wasteland, Battle Royale. There's so many mods for so many different players that it's just, you get the best bang for your buck. And I'm going to leave the comments section open for this video, guys. Post in the comments what you think. Thoughtful discussion, please. I'm going to have comments turned on for this video. Post what you think. In Arma 3, is Arma 3 worth it? Is DayZ Standalone worth it? I'd like to hear your guys' feedback. This is all subjective. These are all subjective experiences that I have. So that's all I got for you guys. I hope you're doing well. Much love. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe for more free videos. Likes are always appreciated. Peace.